Welcome back to the 1,000 kilometres of Westhill International. Chris Wilkinson here alongside Oscar Hardwick, Thilo Falkenberg, Dominic Engel, and currently sitting here for no apparent reason, but we love having him here anyway, Dennis Lind.
Did you hear how the crowd went wild back in their home couches?
I have a couch.
I'm pretty sure that everyone just went, wow.
But all their minds have been blown.
Yeah. Oh, it's Dennis Lind. He's such a cool guy. Who is he anyways?
You mean how that factor that meaningless people get famous with on TV? No one knows him, but he's a famous person, so he must be famous.
And at the end of the day, they have to go to the jungle camp, and I'm a star. I want to get out of here.
Do you call it "I'm a star"? I get out of here.
Or go home and work in the grocery store for 8 hours. Then.
Yeah, right.
But the best thing, it's called "I'm a Star." Get me out of here. But all the people in it. I mean, you even have B celebrities in the UK version. No one's heard for the. We have Z. We have lower ranked celebrities than we have letters in the alphabet.
The thing is, we've got in this season, which started yesterday, people in it. For example, we've got a mother of a celebrity in it. Not the celebrity himself, but a mother.
We get there. We have people who are famous for marrying people.
In Denmark, you wouldn't believe what we have famous people.
Why would you be famous for giving birth to someone? Because that would mean every woman in the world is famous. Almost every.
Looks like Roland Orza might be timing out at the moment.
I don't believe Oscar was the one to bring that back into.
Oh yeah, that's
topic.
true. That's true. He's got.
I think he actually
15,
is.
16.
There
he goes. There we go.
Kapal's
already there.
But look, Kapal joined before he timed out.
That was quite slick from them.
Maybe one of them was watching the stream.
Yeah, that's the advantages if you follow the race.
Also one of the few advantages of the new patch is you can join much quicker. You don't have to wait for everyone to disconnect or join or make their nose or whatever. You can join if at the speed you can join if you weren't in a queue. It wasn't a queue anyways,
if it was
but
instant.
yeah, instant join basically. Instant in quotations.
Yeah.
Not too much time lost there for Savage Motorsport, although they lost half a lap actually. Because I saw there was a time out in the chicane. It could have been worse. Could have been sector 3, so not too much harm done.
It could have been right before the start-finish line.
Oh, that's always the worst ones. Those are the worst ones.
All the times in OE that I've hit Turbo across the face when people have done that. That's a heartbreaking moment.
It's probably the second worst thing to running out of fuel right before the line.
I've also done that.
Oh.
We have one driver in the 80s that's done that. 88. Actually say I'm very impressed with the race so far, because compared to the last 2 rounds, this is actually a race. It's clean, it has a few crashes, everyone behaves well, and it's a joy.
The only one caution. Caused by yours truly.
I wasn't actually going to go into that, you said that.
Okay, Dominic. I can handle myself.
Just in case you're gonna come at me, gonna come and have a go at me even saying that your team caused the only caution of the day.
That was what I was excluding right there, because I'm trying to be a better person, and I can only do that if people in general try to shut up sometimes.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Welcome to a program, How to Be a Better Man.
Sounds like sounds like something that could be running on Channel 4 already.
Better Man 101, powered by Dennis Lind and the rest commentary box.
Into the pits for the car 67. Parsonen has had an issue in turn 11.
He just passed. No wait, he didn't make it stop.
Torvine has had an issue in turn 11.
Looks like he's going again, so I guess he had a bit of an off.
He had a spin exiting turn 10.
About 10 laps away from what I believe is that magical number of laps, as in lap 156, from when you could possibly, with a bit of magic, make it to the end on a set of tyres, unless you're in an F-stood up, then you can't. Because of fuel.
Yeah, the max amount of laps you can do in an FZR is about 39 laps, isn't it?
It's 40, it's exactly 40, but you can do over 100%.
Oh. Yeah, I remember there was a problem here with the GT0 cars back in whenever in MOE, because the GTO XRR could just make it over the hour, and I think
Yes, they're not going to make it at all.
I think the FZR could actually only make like 50 minutes.
That's what happened when you give a car that's only very first year another 100 bhp.
It was a bit more than that, wasn't it? I believe
It was 595.
But was it not 680? Eh?
No, the XR had 605, the SR had 595 bhp.
Oh, alright. Then I've misinformed some of the youngins.
Yeah, they'll get over it. Unless you didn't tell them Santa exists, all is fine.
Oh yeah. Oscar, Santa still exists. Ah, see, already broken.
Yeah. It's a shame. It's not too bad. There are other people called Oscar.
Well, apparently, what most guys didn't notice, he had a race in between his commentary.
Oh yeah, he had a race in
Yes,
AGS,
yes.
which is one of the worst F1 cars of 1991, if you didn't know already.
The AGS.
AGS, yes.
Always going slow.
Could be
By
worse.
Cosworth.
He doesn't have a Lamborghini engine.
Here's a Cosworth.
Yeah, he's got a Cosworth. Got a Cosworth from 1910.
Did Cosworth exist in 1910?
I don't know. I know Opel existed very soon. I don't know if Cosworth existed that long ago. I know that everyone used Cosworth DFV engines for about 3 billion years in F1 until they discovered things like slicks and wings and stuff.
And breakdowns were caused by Ford, so yeah.
Cosworth hasn't done quite a so good job after the 90s, to be honest.
Well, they did had a go with the Ford Stewart or the Stewart Ford even.
Yeah, that was actually horrific in 1997 and 8.
When I spoke to Mo about this, he had a good sort of way to describe the Stewart Formula One car. That one of the pedals doesn't make the car go, and the other one makes it explode.
Is
it's
your uncle
true.
by any chance one of the people who's driven that in a race and then got sacked?
Yes,
Okay.
for someone with a big amount of money, and a private chopper, and jet, and some cartel in Holland, I think.
Okay.
I think he's called Jos Verstappen actually.
I
Are
don't
you
think he
replaced
is.
with him? We might have to say him.
I don't
Not
think
the
we
guy
need
I
to-
got sacked.
There's no reason to name drop in here, guys. Come on.
Just want us to name him. That's all. Admit it. Yeah, it's Cosworth, great history. Just not after the 90s. Didn't they also make the Ford engine for the Jaguar F1 cars and the Minardis and blah?
I think you
Well, horrible too.
the Jaguar, which was actually a Stewart, which is now Red Bull, if I'm not completely wrong.
Yes,
They also made the Champion engines.
but
Yeah.
they were good.
they were very good.
They were
They were
stacked.
good. The F1 ones were horrible.
Yeah, but the thing is that if we could do it like the Top Gear way, the Ford engine that they made for Formula One were made by proper people within capability of thinking about things like as durability. And Americans thought, okay, we make a decent engine, put a massive turbo on it, and let's go. Good engine. Wait, I'm wrong again, am I?
You think who else made great F1 engines? Well, Lamborghini, obviously. Peugeot, they were also fantastic.
Yep, 0-5. Rick Kingsbury's in the gravel out of turn number 2, but it seems to be on its way out.
And for all of those people think that FXR is actually a bad car, looky here, there's a car in 11th, which is an FXR.
Yeah, as I already said, that's a very different picture from GT1 Challenge, where there were a massive amount of no FXRs.
What I'm holding in my hand right now is the amount of FXRs that are in GT1 Challenge.
So none.
Correct? Anyways, I should be getting back into the booth with my favorite Hungarian person called Lachko Kovac. Probably going into not puncturing again. Or in
Right,
good spirit.
fantastic. Thank you very much. Dennis, so we've hit the 3/4 mark of this race, 151 laps gone.
LLM was off track on stream.
Well, they were off track, but at least they were on stream, so a balance has been achieved.
Very badly looking car.
And into the pits it goes.
think haven't we reached a point of the race where we should probably talk about something that's relevant in some way?
Well, yes.
Did we have 25 cars to start with, or
I believe so.
Yes, we had.
Yes, we did.
then we still don't have a single retirement 75% of the race?
That's very good.
Usually, yes.
Usually.
Why not today?
You're trying to question my statement.
Yes.
Today. That a 24-stick breeding program card just had a bit of a problem trying to get around to 67 of LLM. That's done as well now. Got chopping across happening in the last corner. Also to note, the 11 Conquest car, which hasn't been in the pits long ago, which has guideline wheel now, I believe. Well, I don't believe. I know they have to make another stop. It's going to be decided in the next 15 laps whether you have to pit again or whether you don't have to pit. Well, when I say pit again twice before the end. That could somewhat change people's position depending on what happens.
Kovacs is off on the exit of turn 5 and is not moving. No idea why, they're sitting here watching him. And away he goes again, so looks at things just by the markings on the track apparently.
Again, no damage.
Very, very lucky. Anyway, moving on to plugging. I was going to plug the next round of the GT1 World Series is on the 2nd and 3rd, I believe it is. They're the numbers. They are numbers of February. The 24 hours of Kyoto Grand Prix with the Booty Chicane. It starts right here on stream 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5
Any of the
or
other ones.
6 or 7 from 3 o'clock on the 2nd and runs all the way until guess when? The 3 o'clock on the 3rd. So join everyone who isn't me then.
So I could shamelessly plug something.
Of course.
Which is round 3 of the Genuine Racing GT1 Challenge, which is
Not allowed to
in 2
plug that.
weeks. At coincidentally Kyoto GP with the Booty Chicane. For,
Get a bit of
as
practice.
always, a 1 hour race.
Get a bit of practice.
What?
Get a bit of practice.
Yeah, sure. I'm not gonna race, I'm gonna act, but a lot of other people will. So far in both races we had 50-5 cars attempting to qualify for round 1 and 50 plus cars also attempting to qualify for round 2, so there's no lack of competitors or competition there. The whole field in qualifying in GT1 Challenge at Westhill was actually covered by 0.9 of a second. It's not that easy to get into the race.
If I have calculated right, and if the positions don't change a lot over the course of the next minutes, we will still see NX Racing 1 in the lead of the championship, in front of
Genuine Racing won by 16 points, if I'm not
yeah, right. Followed by
Sorry,
Team
Doc.
Iris in third position.
We've got to calculate in their 2-point bonus for the pole position for this round. Well, it's not exactly open in the championship, especially when you're coming up with to a round where the win is worth 100 points at Kyoto.
True.
And that won't decide the championship because there's a final race of 12 hours at Aston Historic, which is worth 75 points for the win, and obviously 1.5 times the points for the whole points table for this position in the race.
Okay. That's interesting.
Meanwhile, information coming from IRC. Thank you, Mr. Palmer. According to Dennis Lind, the number 12, the reason why he was sitting in the corner and why he had his issue was due to his wheel calibrated and recalibrated itself. And second, Roland Orza timed out due to a power cut. So,
oh, that's nasty.
there.
The XR had a sequential. I don't know why this ignition cut. What the XR has is the gearbox sequential with ignition cut, not power cut. Oh, my jokes are ruined. Oh no. Everyone
Just
be
coming here to
sad.
say this goddamn you're terrible.
Oh, that's me, I know. Because I tried to make joke.
It's true facts, therefore it's not me.
I could say that we've had recently a power cut in the area where the students live together on the campus on my university, and I wonder how many children are given birth in 9 months. Let's wait and see. Close and close to the 160 lap mark. Maybe with a massive storm in the pit lane.
It could be worse. If you had a real life race at Spa, we could have a power cut and have to red flag the race cause of a power cut.
We could, yes.
Well, because of a lightning bolt striking the race administration tower, causing the power cut.
So then, well, we've got a little bit of all of the action at the moment. We'll take a run through of the current position, shall we? Leading the race, as we all know, is this man. It's Miko Merlito for NX Racing number 1. Second are Genuine Racing, Robin Heidman at the wheel at the moment. Third are Team Virus. Fourth are NX Racing number 2 with a great climb. Excuse me. Fifth are Core Race Pro number 2, which you can see here. Goik is driving for Conquest Racing Pro, they're in 6th, while 7th is the first of the amateur positions at the moment, Last Lap Motorsports. Core Racing Pro number 2 are 8th, with 9th going to Ixion Sim Sports Pro at the moment, and 10th to Genuine Racing 2. Stick Breeding Program Amateur are 2nd in the amateur class, with Last Lap Motorsports Bus 12th and ASX Motorsports in 13th. 14th goes to Conquest Racing Amateur, and 15th to Infinity Sports Pro. Green Angus Racing sitting in 16th place at the moment. Savage Sim Sports number 1 holds 17th. whilst Hardwick Racing are 18th and 19th are Scuderia Gas. Team Virus 2 are 20th, Infinity Esports Amateur 21st, and Team 6 A Fondo are 22nd.
I think that's the Spanish way to write sixth.
I much prefer Team 6 A Fondo.
Oh.
What's
I just have guessed. I don't know. I don't speak Spanish.
I think you're probably right. 23rd, World Class Lions. 24th, Last Lap Motorsports. 25th, and last are R-Force Amateur and Terra Mind Factory Pro. Did not start.
Didn't qualify either.
Building pit stops coming up. But the real focus at the moment, guys, is going to be on tyre wear and on how long these pit stops are going to take for everybody, and we can have a rough idea of a final order.
Rough idea is that the Jenna racing car number 10 is coming in relatively short time because the tyres are getting very cold.
Nah, they're not. Okay, they are. Actually, like the colour of those tyres. If they weren't tyres, I would really like that colour.
Okay. It's looking like from the cars up in front, Phil Diaz is having the most temperature in it. Ah, there he goes.
Phil's got very good tyres, but I think that's partly down to the fact that, for example, Simon even did 43 laps, so
I'm going to interrupt here because we have Robin Heidman in the pits, we have Pickerainen in the pits, and we have Isaac Price ready to take over from Muralito, sitting in the serve at the moment, waiting. So these two coming in at the same time. We're watching them now. Heidman gets a much quicker exit. Pickerainen only just leaves the box now, so Heidman will gain a bit of a gap. Phil Diaz, although yet to pit, has gone past those two. Muralito then is the man we have to watch. He'll be pitting at the end of this lap. Will Heidman and Pickerainen jump in, gentlemen?
No. And again, I bet you expected a much longer answer.
Oh yes.
But no, looking at Mikko's split, if he doesn't completely muck up the last corner now, he's going to easily stay in front once Isaac has taken over, unless there's a problem with the takeover. Of a slightly bit of action there from Mikko. And that's understandable, because those tyres are saying, yeah, I've had enough for today. He's put me in a garage somewhere.
Or in the bin.
Or in the bin, or...
Yeah.
A burning pile of tyres in Springfield.
Oh yeah. Let's make a pyramid of tyres and then burn it.
So kind to the environment. Isaac Price in the car, as you can see, both 10 and O2 are still, well, way behind. And actually, I think they even have to be a bit more careful, because they're going to do 41 stints on a lap of tyres, 41 laps on a set of tyres that way around.
Yeah, not talking about the tyres they used in the mall for the prototypes.
They can do 45 stints.
Maybe. Depends on the car you're using them on.
Mainly, well, probably on the R18, because that does about 4 laps per stint, because it has a fuel tank of 25 millilitres. It's great that the ACO balances cars. When they balance cars with fuel tanks, they always downsize them. They never increase this. Well, actually, that's not true, because they've increased the tank size for the privateers for next season. I'm already talking rubbish.
Next season means 2014, right?
2013. Next season, the season hasn't started.
Okay.
Therefore, I'm correct.
Yeah, sometimes it is a bit mixed up. talking to someone next season and next year.
Oh, contact!
Oh, there was still
Billy.
a car.
Billy. So you saw there, Philip, Diaz there, the next racing number 2 car, slowly coming across the face. Saki is off, not Saki Saki anymore.
But he must be lucky. The driver of the 54, he's got real thin tires, and none of this popped up. I mean, this can easily happen in such a situation.
I wonder if the 54 is going to pit, because if I was to know, it would, and yes, they are.
Yeah,
Should be
meanwhile,
their last
Phil's
stop.
doing another lap.
I think he can afford it with his tyres.
Yeah.
definitely the man to watch for Diaz. Nobody kisses into the service, so he'll take over the something car. It will Phil coming in this lap. His teammate Simon Cattell has joined.
He might have been able to do 1 or 2 more laps, judging from the tires.
Simon's done more than... Simon went over the 120 marker, that's why Phil is over the 160 marker now. He's done a long stint, Simon's done the longest stint, as far as I can tell.
Okay, so they will be easily in with no tire problems.
They will have a nice time, whereas Virus and Genuine Racing, they will have a bit of a task at hand to save their tyres. We'll probably ask, where's Jensen Button when you need him?
I can remember a City Liga race, the finale of the 14th season, where on the last lap there were a couple of blown tires.
Charlie got a puncture and lose his tyre.
Yeah. We were commentating on that one, weren't we?
No, I wasn't commentating.
No?
Was it West to Reverse with NGT? I surely wasn't commentating.
Okay, did I commentate alone? Yeah, okay. Never mind, I thought we were...
No, I wasn't. I know I wasn't. I remember I tuned in for 5 minutes and saw it's NGT and instantly turned.
A quick question from Laris Matonis, directed more at the admin team than anything. He asks on IRC, does it count as a team change if I was moved to one team but haven't done an official session for that team? I'm just in their rooster. That's it.
From one team to another, does that mean inter-team or across another team?
Seriously, the only reason I said it was because he wrote rooster. Did
wow,
nobody pick up
on
the fact that I said rooster?
Theoretically, and other things like starting number, the rule is you have to actually to be in a session with it. I don't know if it's different for drivers. If it's different for roosters,
as far as I know, you can, if you have, let's say, a team with 2 cars entered, you can freely move between those 2 cars between events if you haven't driven for one of those cars in an official session of an event already, and if you're not inside the lockout for making changes to a team roster. Might be completely wrong, but I hope I'm not.
And if you want to know where the Roosters are, they are in 12th in the German Hockey League.
Rather much NGTs. Formula 4.
Well, but NGTs don't produce flying teeth.
No, but they produce flying cars.
True. And if you have a Kirschhorte or a Jack Sedgwick in it,
or Fuse.
Or Fuse.
All three in a battle.
I see a massive 3-way roll.
wonder, are there are there any teams who are yet to pit for the last time? And the highest place team that I can see will probably have to pit again is the 11 car of Conquest Racing Pro. Will probably lose a position from it, or two. Well, two at max, but they won't drop lower than 7th doing that. Well, it's a very short stop. I would actually not be surprised if they keep 5th. Because I know Norby Kiss has got to do either 39 or 40 on that tank of fuel, and that's all that car can do on a tank of fuel.
How many laps are left in these tires? Let's say 10, could it be?
It doesn't matter anyways, because they're going to run out of fuel. They're probably going to run out of fuel before they run out of tires.
Okay. No, I mean about Conquest Racing, just thinking about how much less fuel he has to take in.
Scott, my tip is he needs something between 10 and 20% fuel, or litres, it's the same in this car, or in these cars.
Thanks to a 100-litre tank.
Yeah, it's actually quite amazing. For 40 laps, the FZR needs 100 litres, the XR needs 75 litres.
Wow. If you, our developers should get this trick to the automobile industry. Well, better not, because then they would they would just make show cars with that, not really produce any cars that take much lower. Anyways, back on topic.
Yeah, the highest place car I know will do a stop is Conquest, and the next one I'd say is the 55 of ASEC. They're down in 11th. And the other Conquest cars also got to do another stop. I think most amount of cars in the top 10 have actually got fuel and tyres to attempt and go to the end of the race.
Yeah, and in 11th place you have got the first car who definitely is not going to make it. Except for he really found the way to implement diamond tyres.
That would be great. Although I think they wouldn't have a lot of grip.
They wouldn't, and I think the track would be suffering more than the tyres.
Surface would look... Imagine diamond tyres on a X dirt oval. It would be a dirt oval again after the race.
Sure.
A dust oval. Actually, that's
clay,
dust
the clay ovals, these things which have more grip than a dirt oval, but less grip than the thing where Arca races on, I remember. Salem, thanks to Deco for telling me.
It'd be worse because there's no German division of Arca, because that would be called Arcade.
The thing is, there is a certain stocker community in Germany.
Here comes Guy coming around Simon Cattell, coming into turn number 1, down the inside goes Guy, but he's clear before the corner.
I'm probably knows
Cattell
that...
behind, but Guy probably needs a pit stop, doesn't he though?
Not probably, he needs one unless he's got a BAR fuel tank. Which means he's got more fuel in the tank than he actually has as a tank. Because he's got an extra tank.
Maybe build in the FO8 fuel tank.
I can even tell you by how much more fuel the BAR could run than the fuel tank allowed.
Go on then.
6 kilos. Only reason I know it is because they published an article saying they will not change the fuel tank, they'll just run with 6 kilos more ballast, which is what they did.
Yay.
Because every F1 car was balanced. Pretty much every car in the world was balanced because balance of performance. Probably have the smallest balance of performance in LFS than anywhere else in the world.
Not thinking of. Oh, Kingsbury goes off, trying to let them pass.
Oh, well, he's back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a moment, I had this scenery in front of my eyes that he spins in front of Goik and Cattell, because he was just with one of the rear tires on the grass first.
Actually, I have to admit, I had a bit of a moment coming out of the last corner where I put a wheel on off to the grass where the curb starts, and it woke me up.
Good morning, Dom. I am your car. You just dropped the wheel on grass. Please do not do it again. Thank you.
Yeah, like that. Oh, in other news, Heidemann just made a big mistake in turn 2 and now Pickerainen's right behind him. What happens when you think a race is settled down?
Well, that means that within the next 10 laps, hell breaks loose.
Oh, I think I know what he's done. I think Heidemann put a wheel off coming into 2 because he's got a slightly warm right rear tyre. That must be what's happening.
Yeah. It's at least significantly
Warmer than the right front, yes.
And for Pickerainen, it's the other way around.
But that's more it's pushing.
Yep.
Actually very ironic. Pickerainen was, I think, the highest placed FZR in GT1 Challenge, and now he's in the whole different situation of actually being able to challenge for the top places.
Tapping the brakes twice, now exiting.
He's got the draft, I think he's got the draft.
Yeah.
Heinemann's pulling away on the straight.
Could be a bit of a gearing thing. I mean, he's really at the edge.
I don't know, it seems like they've got a bit more wing. If anything, gearing won't do too much.
True, wing.
It's like the Virus car's got a click more rear wing, probably a click more front wing, and that's it. It just creeps away unless you're in the draft.
I try to remember we've had one of these the races where someone was using a lap time design setup and not a race design setup. He was pretty much the fastest guy in the corners, but on the straight he was not able to challenge anyone.
I know someone who did that for 19 races in a row, Red Bull in 2011.
Yeah, no, I mean in Liver Speed in one of the...
In these kind of races you can't really afford to have no straight line speed, because you need to be able to fight, you need to be able to separate yourself from other cars behind as a safety car.
Yeah.
That's why also no one is running R4s here today, because technically they're a setup option here, but no one's using them because you just can't afford being on ice blocks when there's a restart.
Yeah. If there weren't safety cars, they were a true option.
Heinemann's pulling away again.
They
Not
wouldn't
by a
either
lot,
be
but
an
it's just this slight pulling away.
Like for the first, let's say 50 meters off the straight, there is a bit of coming closer by the Virus car, and then all of a sudden Heimann pulls away.
The other thing is they've both got to watch out for their tyres. I mean, 41 laps for both of them. They are really in a battle more than anyone else. None of them is on a different strategy, or different set of tires, or different amount of fuel. They're all on the same tires, fuel, strategy. They all have the same job in hand. They both have the same job in hand. And being behind someone and not being able to overtake them because of straight line speed, I can tell you from Elf's kart last, well, not last year, the year before last, 2011, is not a very fun thing.
And it's also eating tires, if I can remember it correctly.
Not necessarily. Ahead we have one of the XRs.
Right in front of them.
It's Asex with Toff.
Ah, good. It's really remarkable how good you can separate the M cars from the Pro cars. I mean, how far the car is away and you still see this yellow banner on the bumper.
That's why it's yellow.
Yeah, of course, but just wanted to underline that it's really the car can be let's see, about 75 meters away, and you can still easily distinguish that it's an amateur car. Well, except for if you've pulled down the LFS graphic things to nothing.
Well, if you have the skin down, no turn off.
Oh yeah, that can happen. Or if it is not working really the way it was meant to work.
Well, LFS sometimes does not load skins or textures to prevent
until
lag.
Until you are back in the spectators.
Only that Toff gives way and doesn't play a key role in this battle now.
Hyman was pulling away when he entered the slipstream of Toff. But now it seems like the virus car is a bit faster again. And he closed in quite some bits. Let's see how Toff deals with this one.
Toff now lifts off, he lifts off.
Yeah. I would say he didn't harm those two.
No, he did a decent job there.
I mean, the time Hyman gained with the slipstream was...
as much as he lost in the last corner, yes.
Right.
Well, as he Prix at front can be just sitting in his car going, oh, I don't care what these people are behind me are doing, I'll just drive this all on my own, no problem.
Watching, just took a look through the field. This is really the closest affair for a position, and now it's getting closer, it seems. I don't think Robin took the right line there through the chicane. I mean, he has lost a ton of meters there.
Yeah, that's certainly. Oh,
here comes Picker
he's just setting himself up.
And now again, this little advantage.
Oh, he can't bump. That's bump drafting. That's bump drafting right there, which is not allowed by the rules in this series, I have to add.
Yeah, and this bump actually cost him more because he was way too close on the pit.
He was way too close in the first kink, that's the problem.
Yeah, first kink, I mean, not pit.
Holy moly, I've just accidentally pressed tab and ended up at Norby Kiss and was amazed by how hot his tyres are. Holy. Wow. Are very hot.
When I press tab, I land at Goik.
But I pressed tab with the long. Rested my hand on it. Oh, and there's a spun car ahead of Isaac Price, and that's R-Force 52, I think, who found a bit of an off coming into sector 3.
Yeah.
Oh, and oh my god, their right rear tyre's a volcano. It's red throughout. Let's hope he's not a hazard, those two behind him.
That is more red than the red flag. Oh, please keep it.
Keep it. Yes,
And he
they're
actually
well clear,
helps
okay.
a bit. No, does he?
Not really.
Not really.
Oh, I'm not
But
sure
he
why he's
stays
going.
out.
I would have pit it with those tyres because you're going to lose as much time pitting and changing them as you are now.
Into the king. Ooh, okay, that tire is the better one, and now it's... Yeah. Oh, into the gravel. Back in grass. Back on track. And I have the fear that it is going to be a yo-yo effect. That we've going to see him in the left-hand corners.
Oh, look at Pickerainen's right front tyre. He's been toasting that one a bit. You gotta remember, he also has to make it to lap 200. He cannot afford to pit again if he wants second place. Eicherman, in my eyes, is doing a much better job of looking after his tyres. Trying to, at least. It's good to have some days because he's being pressured for second.
Can it be that his main problem is that he's close to Hireman, but not close enough to pass him? So he has this little bit of...
I think I saw Pickerainen have a very hot right front tyre the last time, and he wasn't behind anyone.
So more driving style related issue?
It's not hard driving style, but yeah, obviously if you have many overtaking attempts and you wash out wide in a fast corner, your right front tyre is going to turn into a Pirelli tyre.
Yeah.
It means it's going to become Italian. But it's going to overheat. Choose between the two.
One will see this season. Oh, yellow flag and turns 9. Oh. Okay, I seen him. Kingsbury, was it?
It's been having a few adventures outside the white line.
Job application for a professional grass trimmer.
It's not like the LFS grass. The grass has to be trimmed a lot because it's too deep.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that in Assetto Corsa because that has 3D grass. At least grass that stands up and isn't just a flat texture. Which LFS doesn't have actually as well, but not on the street.
Sometimes.
Oh, Pickerainen, I think Pickerainen. He's again in that situation where he's just a meter away from the draft. It's amazing. And he gets the draft. He gets the draft now.
Look, 3 cars battling in front of them too.
Yeah, let's hope
They
don't
were
have.
just 3 wide when on the start-finish straight.
That's the Hellenic Racing FXR and the Infinity Amco. I don't see which one is the car that starts in front. The last two are the Infinity and the Hellenic Racing Team cars. Hellenic car shouldn't be less of a problem because the XR could, well, frankly, in a GT2 spec almost outrun that car on the straight. Here we go. Nesteros moving over to the inside line, not defending his position. Losing himself time either, though, which is the way it's meant to be. Well, he is now because he just braked. Oh yeah, it's the other FXR that's in front of him as well.
Ah.
There's another car in front of him as well, so 4-lap cars to negotiate for these two. 3 now, after they've already had one. Infinity almost putting both right side tyres off there in the grass on the straight. Just about not doing it.
Idiniak with wiggle.
He should get in with the draft. Benjamin putting tyres off the grass himself there. A massive speed advantage, and he's approaching the FXR, going well a lot quicker than the FXR is. Hope he just lets him past after 2. Pickerainen is now, you can say Pickerainen is being delayed because he didn't have the luck to get past the Infinity car on the straights. And he's got to stay behind the Infinity car from turn 3, or part of turn 3 at least. And now I'm wrong, it's not the FXR. Oh, I just now there are 3 FXRs, not 2. Wow. Oh, don't! Oh. Someone saw the tyres. Only possibility that car that's ahead. I think Pickerainen got a bit delayed through those last 2. But still, 21 and a bit of laps till the leader crosses the line to finish the race on lap 200. At the end of lap 200, rather. So it's not over between these two. They've got plenty of time to fight each other. I think Pickerainen has now realised, either he's realised that he's got the safest tyres, or he's realised that being behind Eichmann the whole time is no good either.
I think this has more something to do with... oh, there was a cone. What was a cone doing on the racing line? I mean, they are pretty far away.
Pretty far away on the inside, which is why I'm so amazed.
That's oddly a caution for debris. Just kidding.
The car in front is raking. It's very... Yeah, he's behind Niki Dakovic actually in the Ixion.
Well, he could do anything.
Let's just hope they don't have to pass him in turn 1 kink, because we've seen what that LLM car does in the turn 1 kink.
Yeah.
Have a mini accident all of its own.
Yeah, mostly because it's got about the ride height of what most 18-year-olds, when they buy a car, think the ride height must be, which is 4 millimeters.
And then they are coming to a place with speed humps and destroying the whole underbody.
And
well, minus say Kyoto, where you've got the bank sections on the racetracks. Surely turn 1 at Westhill is where you're putting the most load through the suspension and tyres.
Perhaps, yes.
I mean,
actually,
it is
no.
on camber.
The just part of LFS put the most load through that suspension and the tyres, or mainly through the suspension, in every single curb at Falkenberg. Because there is no curb in LFS.
And here we go with battle. Oh no, go on.
There's no curb in LF that you hit with as much downforce and as much speed as at Falkenberg. The Falkenberg usually you max downforce in XR, I know that, in GT1 at least. Yes, if it isn't about curbs, then turn 1 at Westhill, 250 kilometers an hour, that's a lot of compression there. I'm not sure it's more than at the oval.
I would think so, because it is flat compared to the oval.
Yeah, it is on camber here in turn 1, which is why they can hold it flat out. But the oval sections at Kyoto must just be putting much more load into the suspension.
Especially turn 3 at KY1, because turn 3 is the one that's
20 laps remaining.
The hardest flat out.
Yeah, because of the 15 degrees of banking compared to the 20 to 19 on the other turns.
Only 20 laps left now in the 1,000 kilometers of Westhill, which is exactly 100.36 kilometers.
Well, you're good.
The track is 5.18 long, and it's 20 laps. That's
Yeah,
not hard.
I simply would have taken this information from Tracker.
Well, you
Which
can also
also
figure out that 20 laps is exactly a tenth of the race, so you can just divide the 1,036 kilometre race distance by 10.
That would also have been, yeah, true.
And it's actually 103.6, and I mucked up, but well.
Oh.
I less than half a
well.
lap. By about half a lap before anyone said, not half a lap.
About half a lap.
Okay, go away.
Just there for the occasional
Ooh,
troll
slidey
statement.
slide by the virus
Rainer.
car.
Not something you want to... Oh, well, it's okay on the right rear, but still not something you want to repeat. Sliding here at Westhill, well, the last corners are so bad, but any other corner that's above third gear, you don't want to slide, because that takes a huge amount of tread off the tyres.
Well, because you're going to be spinning the tyres at over 200 Ks, basically.
Yeah, basically that's...
The only one with hotter tyres is Isaac Price in this comparison.
Well, I guess if you've got tread on your tyres and they're hot at this stage, that might be quite a good thing to keep heating, to have heat in them for when the tread isn't there anymore.
Could you imagine though, if you've got to extend your stint, maybe you want to just save a bit of tread to still have a bit more tread at the end, because that, you know, that can make a difference.
True, but then you'd be going slower and therefore not hot lapping properly, and so would be running in roughly 20th in LFS.
I said save your tyres, not be stationary. Not save your tyres, not save your Pirellis, I said save your tyres. Saving your Pirellis involves not putting them on the car. That's the only way to not use them up.
Ah yes, speaking of which, guess what? I think the AGS has Pirellis.
Oh well, doesn't the Pirelli... I don't know which one, which way around it is in that 1991 one. Either there are about a 50 million Goodyear compounds and only like 10 go away around. Because this is really ridiculous how many compounds you have for some of the cars, and you're like, which of them am I meant to use?
On the AGS, you've got a soft qualifying tyre and a hard qualifying tyre. You've then got super softs, softs, mediums, hards, and super hards for the race.
You've got way more Goodyear shot tyres. Cars, I mean. Goodyear shot tyres, great.
Not that it makes any difference, because the chassis is so awful that the front end just slides out no matter what I do.
Being out by the great 1970s Cosworth engines.
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, the one thing it has in its favour is that the old DFV Cosworth is actually much more fuel efficient.
Well, that, and it will never break down because it's got technology from times when they still carved engines out of stone.
Yeah, it's reliable and it's got good fuel efficiency. And
but by the time you finish the race, you'll be 20 or 3 laps down anyways.
Well, no, the thing is that with the AGS, it's got a very big fuel tank as well, so fuel isn't an issue for me. I can run the car much quicker, but I think, like, take the Ferrari for example, the fuel tank is about 20 litres smaller, and it uses roughly twice as much fuel per lap.
A 3.5 litre V12, which is one of the best F1 engines in the world ever. But, unfortunately, it's not incredibly reliable.
Not reliable or particularly efficient.
It sounds great.
Well, no, the thing with Phoenix is, I've done my horrendous maths and figured out that it will hit 2 hours before the 82 laps, but still doing 79 to 80 laps. You're going to literally have to turn the Ferrari engine off for most of that to make it.
Turn it off on every braking zone and then bump started by letting the clutch slip when you get to the apex. I'm sure that's going to work.
Well, back to the action that we have on this track. We've got the battle between Heijman and Pickerainen for second position overall. Coming up to Nicky Dakovic, who's an interesting back marker. You don't normally expect him to be there.
Randomly mentioned, there's a guy's random pit stopping. pick a right in the draft, pick a right in the draft.
Yeah, Pickerainen has a chance now to try and take advantage of Hydroman. Side by side they go, coming down the back straight. It's going to be Genuine Racing on the inside, Virus Racing on the outside, and Virus is going to try and go around the long way.
He did the same thing again. He did the same. He just outbroke himself, and
It almost
lost
looks
some of
like
the rears.
It almost looks like the brake balance is sitting on the rear end.
They have paid off that. I know he's in front for now, but can Genuine Racing, can Robin Hydroman fight back? Yes, he can. He goes to the inside, side by side again, coming at the final corner, but he thinks better of it. He can't get the advantage. He can't get through. So it's Virus taking second place here from Genuine Racing. All happening here at the end with just a few laps remaining, guys.
Well,
With
still 16.
It looks like Simon Cattell for NX Racing number 2 has taken 4th position.
Yeah, that's because, as I said, the Conquest car made its final pit stop as I predicted it would. A very long stop, and I was right when I said they need so little fuel they'll stay in 5th, because they're still ahead of Norby Kiss in 6th in the Stick Program Pro car. That little battle off the FZRs for 5th place. Who knows, maybe Norby Kiss can do something about them. It's still a couple of laps. He's got perfect tyres right now.
Indeed.
Also, it has to be mentioned, Pickerainen is still behind those two back markers. He's not yet been able to pass them.
When Nicky's just been
We
had to think about that one in the last second.
The 54 brake very early there, and Pickerainen almost ran up to the back of him.
I think the 54 is just running so sort of by itself at the moment that it probably isn't actually pushing hard at all, just cruising around for the end of the race.
That almost resulted in Hydroman getting a draft off Pickerainen again.
It could still happen on this pit straight.
Not quite.
Not close enough this time, but
Not our car has suddenly developed the DRS system mid-stint.
Well, the way you set up
We've
the
got a
wings out-
puncture for 52, right rear.
and that's the car that had the issue with the
That's the car that had the baked potatoes on the right rear. That's and there
Savage?
it goes again. That's R4.
R4.
No, AM is actually only have. Oh, they almost collected.
Dennis
Dennis
slid
Lane.
into it.
They had the tyre issues before. They should have pit because they knew it wouldn't be in this right now. But
Yep.
oh, there we go again. Oh, don't go there! Don't go there! Don't go there! Don't power, please, please, not now.
I think he's powered.
He's out of it.
But good job there are at least no more gravel traps that he could possibly get stuck in now. Just hope that it doesn't create a situation like with the Infinity Am car, that he's stranded in the middle of the last corner and then a car comes along and can't avoid him no matter what.
We have
and
there it is.
He's been hit, that's one of the Scuderia gas cars.
Yeah.
The only Scuderia gas car.
Yeah, it's one of them. Not the only one.
It's one of the only Scuderia gas cars
That existed ever.
When they had two the other one, GT2 World Series.
I think
GT1 2.
the amount of dramas that R-Force have been involved in today, it's fairly impressive, really. I mean, I'm granted most people have had an eventful race at some point or another, but every single stint seems to have gone wrong for them.
Yeah. Although, well, some teams have had great races here today, and some teams have had absolutely horrific races. I mean, who would you have believed that with no practice whatsoever, Simon Patel and Phil Diaz would be fourth?
And then, of course, there's Infinity, who
were second in the first hour.
just awful. Well, someone's gone off at the final corner by the looks of it.
Yeah, that's
Who's that?
Kingsbury.
Yeah. Been making a habit of that recently.
and to the bits he got.
Pits.
Right, well, Pickerainen's right on Nicky Dakovic now, so we could see how interesting this one's going to be. If Pickerainen is in the draft through any of the fast corners, you tend to see a yo-yo effect, so Heigemann not out of it yet.
Oh, it could just be that Pickerainen might push his tyres too much, and then he's going to be in a lot of trouble. If he hits a
Ryan's definitely
landslide,
sliding more.
if he hits a landslide, he's going to be in a lot of rubble. That's unlikely.
Ray Kingsbury in the pit lane then obviously had some tyre dramas as well.
Tyres weren't even that bad, but this car looked like it's been in some kind of crash derby.
It actually went off earlier in the chicane somehow. I just remember from the information thingy.
Nicky doesn't seem to be very cooperative with
Virus.
Virus.
The
But
Virus
then-
guys are begging on the
But
IRC channel.
the fact is, if he isn't faster, he doesn't have to let them pass.
Well, no, the thing is that Niki Dakovic is roughly driving at the same pace as Pickerainen and
Exactly,
Heigemann.
because they've had that gap for quite a while now. It's not like it's been like that for 20 seconds. It's been like that for 3, 4, 5 laps.
I mean, and not only that, but it was mentioned earlier by the administrative team that provided that the car in front that has the blue flag is not actively blocking, it is the job of the car behind. So Virus can ask all they like, but
suppose-
Ixion have got nothing that they have to do.
I suppose that's because of Dennis overtaking lots of lead lap cars. Because, well, he was faster than a lot of them. He overtook a lot of them, only didn't gain him a lot because he had another puncture. Yeah, that's the situation. In endurance racing, it's not like an F1. It's not like that you have to give way after 3 corners. Unless you're faster and you can overtake the car in front, you do not have to let. You can't expect to be let past.
I think someone may have just had an off or has a puncture. Going down the back straight, who's that?
Oh, the
That's the
R4's at the right.
Well, they certainly don't have a puncture. Their tyres are as thick as they possibly could be. Certainly run out of road there.
Certainly, yeah.
Yeah, Nicky Vordakovic, they're certainly not taking it easy. I mean,
He's
he's
pulling
pushing.
away a bit again.
Well, not only that,
He's-
but he is now on the back of Scuderia Gas,
Yes, exactly.
who he is actually lapping for position. Obviously, Ixion had the timeout earlier on, but in all reality, the 71 is getting a blue flag from Ixion at the moment.
Hope they know that and don't just.
They do, they've dived off the road.
Yeah, good.
And into high. Oh, that was rather a close affair. At least less than a meter apart of each other.
I think there will probably be some not so nice words between 2 of the teams after this race.
Well, I mean, the problem with those not so nice words is just
They
that they don't mean anything because
they don't mean
at the
anything.
moment,
The way the
Niki
rules
Dakovic
are.
is breaking no rules.
He's held no one up. The only reason he's gone backward is because he had to lap 71.
Yep.
Catel's gone somewhere. Where is it?
Oh, it's the chicane. It's the chicane. He must have been gone somewhere around the area of the chicane because that car looks like someone
Looks like
had
it's been in the wall,
parts
doesn't
of.
it?
Well, it looks like someone. Oh, a big crash! A crash! I heard a contact behind Simon on the back straight.
It's not been an accident by the looks of
It
it.
was R-Force and Ray Kingsbury. I
Yeah,
think.
R4's and Kingsbury.
Just rubbing door handles or
I think the
actually
last
having an
one,
accident.
I think one of them was in the walls. One of them was in the walls. I'm pretty sure.
Probably our force.
Well, probably Kingsbury, I guess, because they have
R4's
been to pit, haven't they? Yeah, they have
Yeah,
to.
they've been to pit. They've been in the pits not long ago. Last thing those two need to do is to crash into each other because they haven't had the best of days on their own. So don't need to make it worse for each other. Of course, this could be a situation where Virus really isn't happy because running, even if it's a car that's not on the same lap with them, running in the draft is still gonna wear out the tires.
Now
Nicky's
let's-
showing
indicator.
over here, isn't he?
using the indicator to let the virus car
That's going to
pass.
completely screw up genuine racing now.
Unless he does the same thing, because if he doesn't, then wow.
Well, it depends on how his pace changes.
Yeah, and how his pace changes. Yeah, but
Well, in all fairness, what's going to happen there is if he's not going to do the same for genuine racing on the next straight, then I would call that taking bribes from very, very specific people.
Because from the looks of things, virus can't really pull away yet.
probably gonna be held up because there are two cars in front. I see it.
Yeah, it looks like, is it Green Angus? Can't see. Okay.
It's an XR.
Obviously an empty car.
No, Nicky Dakovich not pulling over yet.
Don't
he's
Oh,
not
there he
safe.
goes.
There we go. So that's cleared up. Yeah, endurance racing, lap 8, unless you can actually probably overtake the car, depends on people either being nice or people not moving over, because both is legal.
Björnsen takes the extra bit of tarmac to let
Yeah,
pass.
and then runs out
And
of
a
the
bit of
extra
grass.
tarmac. Yeah, that would be Dakovich, the genuine racing car, again showed that it's one of the faster ones down the straights.
Kick me off!
Spa! Ooh! Nearly with Isaac involved in this.
It's the second time he's almost been taken out this race from the lead.
He's going to rejoin
Koreni
right in
for
front of the
Arthurs
Pickering
also.
and Heidemann deal.
Arthur had a bit of adventure then, a chicane, bit of a bigger slide and then an excursion over the grass. Also, by the way, something we've missed is Norby has passed Conquest Racing.
It must have been recent because they're still relatively close together.
Koreni again has very bad tyres, if I may say so.
Yeah, his tyres are not so great. And talking about tyres not being great, the 55 on top also has a very hot right rear tyre.
Oh, it's worth pointing out that Heidemann's been flying this lap and is
Okay,
what the hell is Ray King's doing?
What the?
Just pull off the track, you're being dangerous now. There's no point driving anymore.
It is.
It's the kind of extra excitement you don't want or need in a race.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, you're not pulling intentionally into a tyre stack.
If you're doing things like that, in any other sanctioned event outside of, say, sim racing, you would then be banned for being a moron. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just that stupid driving, and if you're going to drive like that and be that much of a danger to leading drivers in this race, then just pull over and stop.
I remember times where there were casting shows for race drivers.
Oh, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, and I remember one of the candidates driving there was pulling the wrong way.
Heidemann's got the draft.
Heidemann's got a run.
the draft. Again, a lap car changing a situation.
Straight down the inside, and he's going to get it done.
Oh, that's
But he's
something.
on
really?
the outside, Pickerainen.
Pickerainen learning how to
Oh, and
brake
there's
now.
contact behind between Nicky and Pitkin. Wow, that's a bit of argy-bargy there.
Don't think Heidemann's
That
got
is
the draft
for
anymore.
position, by the way, behind. That's also for position.
And we have
Nicky
two
took the
battles.
position.
Here comes Pickering down the inside of Jakovic though to try and fight back.
Oh,
Pickerainen
Pickerainen's again
sliding
rear-locked.
everywhere.
The rear's locked again on that car, so whatever they have on the setup clearly isn't that reliable on late braking. But the diff is too open, or the brake
We're
balance
looking
is
now
Now
back
look
at
behind the other
Pickerainen and Dakovich. One move on the straight there, Nicky, not
But look,
17.
look, Pitkin again pulling away on the straight.
Yeah, he did indeed. And
Yeah,
Nicky Dakovich
that
threw himself in the draft there.
That Ixion car probably carrying a bit more downforce than Nicky would like to have right now.
Well, at the end of the day, he can say he took the wrong setup because there was a timeout between. That's why he's on the server, not in 7th position, but on tracker. And actually, he rejoined the pack, so he had the chance to change the setup.
Usually doesn't have an optional setup. Usually the setup.
Someone's gone at the chicane.
Yeah. Dakovic.
Yes, Nicky. It's Nicky. Yes.
Oh, he's gone off backwards, hasn't he? Yes, into the rear end.
Yet another lucky one without any damage. Like people tried how to crash properly at the chicane and now are doing it when it happens.
They're just listening to your advice earlier, Tommy.
Mention anything about crashing a rearward when you're going off. I said nose it in. Rearward crashing is the second best option in that case.
And
First
also, because of his crash, he's down to... He lost his 10th? No, 11th. He's behind the breeding program.
Whoa, that's gonna be a costly one because you basically just lost three places in a couple of seconds.
At least if I see it right. I mean, we have to wait until tracker sorts out everything.
So it seems, well, the gap between Ivan and Pickerainen, thanks to that earlier draft action, is a bit smaller, but there are more back markers in the form of World Class Lions and someone else who isn't World Class Lions.
Maybe R-Force.
Or Team 6A4.
No, it's R-Force.
It's R-Force? Oh. Let's see what this produces.
Oh yeah, it is R-Force. Right, but I could tell, but letting but one? Oh, that's a bit cheeky.
Well, that screwed up Genuine Racing a ton.
Oh, but
it's not slowing Pickerainen down. It's just driving the World Class Lions car decided to sit in the way of Genuine. Karen is trying to spin as well.
5 laps remaining in this race. 31 kilometers or 90 miles.
5 laps be 31 kilometers.
No.
6 laps.
That was 6 laps, but yeah. No comment. That happens if you're just reading down. And looking at the traffic ahead, there is not much anymore. I mean, there's about a fifth of the track completely clear. So Pickerainen really has to make a mistake to make this battle exciting again.
Yeah, and the tyres are the same on the two cars, really. There's nothing in it.
Pickerainen slightly hotter. I would say the best tyres in the top 5 has Simon Cattell. Might have something to do with the fact that
about tyres and how thick they are. 5th place Norby Kiss looks like he's got a bit of thin right rear tyre.
Yeah, the middle part of it looks thin.
That's just the way. I know from many sets I've tried, many of them have camber that does not take into account that the tyre wears flatter later in the stint, so it just happens to wear more in the middle. You're also going to see on the lead car of Inex and on a couple of others, mainly the FCR stuff.
Carini bump drafting along the pit straight there. Not at all savoury. Carini gets another little punt from the Steak, not the Steak breeding program, the Scuderia gas. Yeah.
Another car that really has been just a danger to itself.
For position behind Last Lap Motorsports and Ixion. So Ixion didn't lose 57 and 07. So the last lap motorsports car didn't lose. The last lap motorsports, the Ixion Sim Sports car didn't lose that much. I thought there's still a lap more to stick breeding program and Genuine Racing 2, who I thought would have passed him as well.
Unbelievable thing is, it's lap 198 now officially, since Thilo's just passed the start finish line. Only one safety car, so good job from everyone so far.
One safety car so far now.
Yeah, one safety car so far, and it wasn't at a point where it could ruin everyone's strategy. So yeah, we could see what everyone's strategy was.
Here comes Nicky Dakovic on the last lap motorsports amateur. That he's going to try it round the outside, but it's behind Corelli.
Oh, Corelli! Oh dear.
Not completely unexpected from R-Force, another car that has just been a complete danger to itself today.
55 A6 just had a massive off in the last corner.
The thing though is, correct.
Oh, and someone went through all the tyres. That's Simon Cattell. Simon Cattell went through all the tyres.
Cattell
on the
stage
bridge.
3.
That's a big incident.
That's Norby Kiss and Geig up one place. So it's if the tyres last on the 21 car, it's going to be a 4th place finish for stick breeding program.
Two laps remaining. Race control to all teams. We remind you that you need to slow down after turn 1 after you finish. And the top 3 in each class. Return to start finish line. All else into pit lane. Cone clean in lap, please.
Top 3 now on their penultimate lap. Oh, higher man! Yeah, that should be it. With a rear right tyre.
He's actually got slightly better tyres than Virus now heat-wise, but that's partly because of that drift.
Still, I have the impression that Pit Corrine lost a bit of a gap.
He did. Look at the split. He still lost. Heidemann had a big mistake.
About 3/10, if I see it correctly. Yeah.
Fury he lost much more on the lap because Heidemann lost a lot of time initially. But unless there's something big happens, they're not gonna switch positions. We are on the 200th and final lap now.
As all lead lap cars.
And it's just Martin Isaac Price who's and NX Racing who's nigh on dominated this race, but they had that bit of adversity that had to come back through, and they've done it brilliantly, haven't they, guys, to overcome the bad restart and get back into a nice dominant lead.
Yeah. I said before the race that NX Racing might be the team to watch out for. So I was proven right for once. And with Virus in second position, they really are proving the performance from the qualifying.
Yes, they are, but as Isaac Price now comes through the final corner for the very, very time, he is going to cross the line and he is going to win the 1,000 kilometers of Blackwood, Westhill.
Oh, you are tired, aren't you?
Yes, and my stream's frozen and everything just went wrong. Just as he decided he would cross the line.
Pekka now over the line, no change of position there. Virus in second, Genuine Racing in third.
And the 4th place car, that's still a while till that's going to cross the line. Also means all Norby Kiss and Stick Breeding Pro will have to do to be the highest class SR is cross the line. And they're actually the only SR and the last car on the lead lap. Only the top 4 is on the lead lap here, so it shows how how uneventful relatively this race has been, safety car wise.
And right for the end of the race, our system shows some problems. Nobby Kiss now over the line. Last car on the lap.
I bet they're damn happy those tyres didn't pop.
I need a microscope to actually
see how much tread they have.
Yes.
I think that's all cars finished. All 25,
yeah, that's everyone.
Yes,
all
25
finished.
A 100% finishing record. As Joe Letriello gets completely wrecked on the pit entry into the rescue car.
All cars that started finished the race.
See that too often in endurance.
No, in LFS in general.
Ever actually.
The only car we are not seeing there, though, it is in the tracker Terramine Factory Pro, who decided to not start.
Or appear in
Again.
qualifying.
Or appear in qualifying. Just in case you wonder why there are 26 cars in the tracker and in the scroll bar up at the top of the screen. So,
yes, with this this race finally wrapped up after 5 hours, 10 minutes, 42 seconds and 6 milliseconds. Shall we have a run through of the final positions, guys?
sure.
Indeed.
So, winning the race, you all know it. I know it. These guys know it. It's Inex Racing. Leading finishing the 200 lap race at the top. Team Virus finished second with Genuine Racing in third and Stig Breeding Program in fourth. Conquest Racing finished fifth, sixth for Inex Racing number 2, seventh for Core Racing Pro 2, and the winners of the amateur class as well as 8th overall on Last Lap Motorsports. 9th, Ixion Sim Sports Pro with Genuine Racing 2 in 10th, second in the amateur class as well as 11th overall our Stig Breeding Program Amateur, whilst 12th overall our Conquest Racing Amateur. They round out the amateur podium. 13th our ASX Sport with 14th being Infinity Esports Pro. Last Lap Motorsports Bus our 15th, 16th go to Savage Sim Sports number 1. Green Angus Racing finished 17th, 18th for Hellneck Race, 19th for Team Virus 2, Scuderia Gas finished 20th with 21st being Infinity Esports Amateur, and Team 6th Afondo 22nd. World Class Lions finished 23rd, 24th for Last Lap Motorsports Pro, and R Force Amateur finished 25th and last. We've had 0 retirements today, and most importantly a very, very low amount of connection issues. Only 3 teams affected by connection issues over the entire 5-hour period. It's a very, very good record. So, gentlemen, we'll first go to Thilo. How did you find it?
Yeah, I think it was really a great race. We've had 1 caution for a car struck in the gravel. Apart from that, it was really a nice performance by many teams. Towards the end of the race, some drivers who I think were doing too much racing today, honestly. But all in all, it was a great race. And yeah, let's look forward to the 24 hours in 3 weeks.
Yep, well, we have in the commentary box now one Isaac Price, and Isaac, once again another race where you've led the majority, but this time a big scare with that safety car and losing a few positions off the start.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of just, it was so unlucky that it was sort of a joke, really. We just had to laugh about it. You make a 35-second lead in 2 hours, and then as soon as you pull in the pits as a safety car, you just can't believe it. But that's just the way it is. So this time we lost out from it when that happened. Next time it could be us that gains, so it's the way it goes.
And once again, this is going to considerably improve the championship lead going into the 24-hour race, which is going to be probably the most, well, definitely the most important race of the season. How are you feeling for that? You ready for it?
Well, obviously I'm not ready for it yet. We haven't done any laps or anything, but looking forward to it. Yeah, it should be a race that sort of favours us. I mean, our car is suited for that track, and we've got a fairly strong lineup with lots of good drivers in it. So that sort of race usually favours us more than some of the other teams. But I'm sure Jennar and Vires will be pushing us hard. They've shown that if you make a mistake, they'll be there to take advantage. So there's never a let off.
Yep, a lot of character showed day by NX Racing, if you ask me, and again, strengthening the championship lead even further, and after 3 rounds, you will, without a doubt, be at the top of the table. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Well done today, and we'll see you next time. See you next time at the 24 hours.
So yeah, next race, the 24 hours of Kyoto Grand Prix, from February 2nd to February 3rd. The longest race of the season, obviously. Round double points also, worth to mention. Those double point rounds are always something crucial for the championship. Then we go to South City on March 9th, and we are concluding the season with a 12-hour race at Aston Historic on April 13th. Let's hope everyone is lucky there.
Yep, and Oscar, your thoughts on a very interesting day's racing?
Well, worlds apart from what we've had in the last 2 rounds. I mean, less stuff going on, but at the same time, that was more to do with the fact everyone drove cleanly. Westhill lends itself to racing, where everyone tends to build up a gap. When there was racing, it was great, and I had endless excitement for the last 20-odd minutes of the race, with battles going on in Am, in Pro, and people spinning, crashing. Only real complaint about the race is that there's 2 or 3 drivers that need a good talking to, because the way that they drove today was so many worlds apart from everyone else's standard that they really shouldn't have been allowed on track. But minus that, everyone drove fantastically, and all of the winners in class are extremely deserving.
So then, I think it's about time to wrap this up. Don't forget, next time out will be the 24 hours of Kyoto Grand Prix with the Boothie Chicane. That'll be on the 2nd and 3rd of February, starting on the 2nd at around about 3 p.m, I believe, Mr. Palmer. 3 p.m. UCT?
UTC.
UTC, rather. Sorry, I'm tired.
Yeah, 15 UTC it will be the start.
There we go. So, big thank you to everyone who's not only competed but to help the event run today. Thank you to all the admin staff, as well as to everyone sitting in here with me, Oscar, Thilo, among others, who've come and lent their voices for our cause. Thank you also as I say, to the admin staff, the drivers, and of course to you lot, because we wouldn't do this if there was nobody to sit and listen to us, would we?
Depends.
Well, I do talk to myself a lot, but I wouldn't do this talking to myself.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll also, except me, see you next time from the Japanese shores of Kyoto. Until then, have a very, very good month or 3 weeks, and we'll see you soon. Good night.